Warning, the following audio transmission will forever change your outlook on society. You will no longer believe the narrative. You are about to wake up and see things for what they really are. News, facts, and opinions. This is the Doom Daily Show.
Welcome, everybody, to the Doom Daily Show. I am your host, Jester Dooms. The email, doomdailyshow@gmail.com. Everywhere on social media at Jester Dooms. The website, www.jestersvoice.com. Everywhere on social media at Jester Dooms. Go to the website, get yourself an apocalyptic apparel t-shirt. Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. It is Monday, July 20th, 2026. Welcome to the show. If you're new here, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. We greatly appreciate it. And where should you share? Facebook. That's a good one. Share it on your Facebook feed. Do that for Producer Scooter and myself. We'd love it. We really would. Hope everybody had a good weekend. My weekend was okay. I went to work, worked a 24-hour shift, put a new bumper on the truck. So back in February, I was towing 6,000 pounds of gravel back to my house on a trailer. And I'm trying to back this trailer in to an area to dump the gravel, as one does. I'm backing up to the west, and the sun is starting to go down. So I have no use, really, of my mirrors. Backup camera is obviously blocked by the trailer, but was also kind of glared because of said sun. The best I could do is look out the window to see where the trailer was going. So I did. At some point, the truck jackknifed and bent my heavy-duty steel rear bumper to it. Now, this was, of course, covered by insurance, and that wasn't a problem. Took forever to get the payout and get an adjuster to come out to the house and all that stuff, but that finally happened. Finally got my check, finally got a bumper ordered, and got that installed over the weekend. So now there is a nice new bumper on the back of my truck. The biggest complication with the bent-ass bumper is that the tailgate would not open. So I was stuck in Shittsville, not able to use my truck as an actual truck. Now the tailgate opens. It's absolutely fantastic, right? So we're good there. And that department is absolutely fantastic. So happy to have a regularly functioning vehicle again, regular functioning truck bed again. Very, very nice. Very nice. So, all geared up to go do truck things again, you know. And one of the coolest aspects of this is with all the work we're doing down on the property, it's like I could now get my truck down through all the property pretty much. And I could leave tools in the bed and keep them locked up under the tonneau cover and not have to reload and unload shit all the time. I could just take the damn truck, which is great. Right. Fantastic. So outside of that, just did your normal average stuff. We had some rain and some storms over the weekend, kind of hid from those a little bit. Did what I could when I could, you know. But a lot of the weekend was sucked up with work. And I know I've said before, you're living for the weekend, blah, blah, blah. I try to get some time in on these weekends if I can. It makes sense to me. I'd rather be off during the week. And I've said before, this Monday through Friday shit's a scam. I stand by that. I'd rather be off during the week and work the weekends. Let everybody else deal with the horrible traffic running around. I'll wait till everybody goes to work, the stores clear out and shit, and then I'll go do what I want to do. It's better that way. This week is going to be a busy week. Going to be doing a lot of running around today. While you guys are listening to this, sipping on your coffee, I'll be taking some little people where they need to go and going to the local college and trying to get some things figured out and finangled before we leave town for a month, which is going to be fun. And I'm really hoping that I'm able to continue the show. So just on a side note, guys, the Doom Daily Show was non-existent last time I left the country. So I don't know how this is going to necessarily play out. I'm not too sure. But because we are going to be out of town and we are leaving the country, you're probably going to get a lot of episodes coming up in the next month about just travel and culture things we're experiencing while we're overseas, things like that. Maybe what some of the kids are up to and adventures they're getting into. That might be kind of what the topic is for most of these shows rolling on forward over the course of the next month. But it'll be good. It's going to be a good time. Anyway, We'll be right back after these messages.
Hey, Producer Scooter here. First off, thank you for downloading and participating in the wide world of Jester Doom. Please be sure to check out JestersVoice.com website. Everything you want to know is located on JestersVoice.com. If you're looking for salacious details, it's on JestersVoice.com. Don't forget to share the show with your friends and even with all your enemies. And now, back to the musings of Jester Doom.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Doom Daily Show. I'm still your host, Jester Dooms. It has not changed. Sitting across from me in our 1,000-mile-wide studio is the lovely, the talented. What is on your head? That's not a hat. No, that's a pot holder. Yes, it's okay. The lovely, the talented Producer Scooter is here with me in the studio. Something we're going to get into talking to is... Well, let's just get into it. By Alan Stein on the Epic Times. 9 injured in early morning mass shooting in Tucson. An early morning mass shooting in downtown Tucson, Arizona left at least 9 people injured in what the city's mayor called a senseless act of gun violence. Police said patrol officers were in the downtown area around 2 a.m. when they heard gunshots in the 100 block of East Congress Street and responded on foot. According to a press release, officers encountered a male suspect running from the scene after giving multiple commands. A uniformed officer shot and injured the suspect. The unidentified suspect was taken into custody, treated at the scene, and transported to a local hospital in life-threatening condition. Police said multiple people suffered gunshot wounds, mostly to their extremities, before the suspect was shot and apprehended. Officers provided immediate medical aid before Tucson Fire Department personnel transported all victims to local hospitals for treatment, police said. No officers were injured. The Pima Regional Critical Incident Team has been activated to investigate the incident. The Pima County Sheriff's Department is the lead agency investigating the officer-involved shooting. In quotations, the Tucson Police Department will be conducting a separate but parallel investigation to determine if any policy violations occurred, police said. As a standard practice in all officer-involved shootings, all findings will be forwarded over to the Pima County Attorney's Office for review once the investigation is complete. Investigators are asking anyone with information or video of the incident to contact 88 Crime and reference Pima County Sheriff's Department case number 2607190048. So if you guys are listening and you're out there in Tucson, make sure to call in with any tips you may have or any videos. Callers may remain anonymous, by the way. In a statement on social media, Tucson Mayor Regina Ramiro said that the incident left 9 people injured in what she described as another serious and senseless act of gun violence. In quotes, a shooter recklessly began shooting in a crowded area, striking 9 people before being stopped by a Tucson police officer. Thanks to the quick actions and excellent care provided by our firefighters and police officers, all victims were stabilized and taken to the hospital, where they are hopeful that they will all recover, the mayor wrote. Romero attributed the incident to easy access to guns, here we go, and Arizona's weak gun safety laws that have continued to put us all at risk. She called on some state lawmakers to do more, from requiring universal background checks and extreme risk laws to increase funding for violence prevention. For the victims, you have my prayers for the healing and speedy recovery. To the first responders, you have my gratitude. To our community, join us in taking action against gun violence and helping the victims and those affected by gun violence to heal. Former U.S. Rep and gun control advocate Gabby Giffords, wife of U.S. Senator Mark Kelly, Democrat of Arizona, posted on social media that she was heartbroken by the shooting. Too many lives have been changed forever because of America's gun violence crisis. In my hometown and across the nation, Mark and I are grateful for the bravery of Tucson's first responders as we await more information and hold all those impacted in our hearts. On January 8, 2011, Giffords survived a shooting that killed 6 people and injured 19 others during a constitute meeting in Tucson. The gunman, 22-year-old Gerald Lee Launer, later pled guilty and was sentenced to life in prison. All right, let's tear into this a little bit. First off and foremost, anytime there's a shooting, the Dems are calling on gun control. Okay, that's a standard thing. We know this. Okay, it sucks they always use it as a tool. It sucks they don't have a continuous platform they run on. They come out of the woodwork when there's a fucking shooting, and then they go hide in the dark. You do have some that are very proactive in a message in a campaign, but at the end of the day, it's only a platform when there's something going on. You want to combat gun violence? You want to combat it? You want the answer? I'll tell you what the answer is. The answer is you start young, okay? Why the fuck are these kids not taught in biology what a gunshot does to a body? Why don't we have all this fucking amazing technology now? So much crazy CGI and editing and all these things. Why are we not showing videos in science class of how much force is behind a bullet and how deadly bullets can be? Because guns are so prevalent and common in America, why are we not having specialized classes in schools every year so children know what to do if they find a gun, to go get an adult, that guns aren't toys? Why are we not teaching this as a message? Why in biology and health class are we not showing slow motion videos of bullets tearing through torsos and showing what it does to your internal organs? Why are we not having videos with survivor victims coming out and talking and saying, hey, guns are very prevalent in this country. It's okay to own one, but you have to have respect for this. I was shot before, and let me tell you, it hurts. It doesn't feel good, right? Raise these children that are coming up in the world now with respect for these and physically understanding the harm that comes with them. See, the fucking problem is that all these motherfuckers out there, this is the problem, okay? The people that are preaching the anti-gun message are making guns so taboo that the younger generations want them. They glorify them. They worship them. They want collections. They're watching these fucking movies. Like, so, all these fucking people, out in Hollywood are anti-gun, no guns in California compliant, blah, blah, blah. But they have no problem filming movies with tons of gun violence and making money off this. What fucking message are you trying to send to our nation's youth? Huh? Therein lies the problem. So maybe, if you give the youth a better understanding of gun safety, gun control, the goal is to reduce gun violence, not be scared of guns, okay? And give them proper knowledge, you would start to see a decrease in this. I guarantee it. Back in the day, high schools had rifle clubs. Kids were bringing rifles to school with live ammunition. There was no fucking school shootings. You got to be shitting me with some of this stuff. Anyway, let's not forget that we are creating more psychopaths in this world. We are creating more medication-dependent people. And let's not forget the pharmaceutical industry is also creating more mental problems throughout our society. Back in the day when they had rifle club in school and people were bringing their guns to school, they didn't have ADHD medication. Safe spaces were not a thing. If you had a wiener, you were a dude. If you didn't, you were a chick. No one was confused. Okay? And these younger generations actually had struggles and had to do things and had to help their families and had chores. They weren't blinded by social media and everything else that was going on. Shit, back then, barely anybody had a fucking TV. Life was realer back then. What you did meant something. You weren't sitting around trying to get likes on a social media video or picture. You actually had to go out and physically do if you wanted people to talk about you good. If you wanted to be well known in town, it's because you had to do something. Social media wasn't a thing. I remember before social media, I was in the paper a couple times. I thought it was great. It's cool. I was on the front page of the paper one time, man, when I was a kid. Still got a copy of that newspaper floating around somewhere. But I'm saying it's not the same anymore. We are in a different society. But if you would simply start younger, teaching kids about these, because guess what? Police aren't going to stop walking around with them. And not that it happens frequently, but it does happen. What are you going to happen when you have these idiot kids growing up thinking that they could just walk up and disarm a police officer? You wait for that shit. That's coming. That's on the way. I guarantee it. We need to go to break. We'll be right back after these messages.
Can't get enough of Jester Dooms? Check out his other show, It's Doomsday Podcast, available on all podcast platforms. That's It's Doomsday Podcast.
Back to the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Doom Daily Show. I'm your host, Jester Dooms. The email, doomdailyshow@gmail.com. The website, www.jestersvoice.com. Everywhere on social media at Jester Dooms. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the show if you haven't already. Okay, so you're asking yourself, Dooms, how would you do this with the youth? How would you explain this? Like, what class would you design? How would you execute this? Very, 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 very simple. Every year that a child goes through school, and they pass and they advance to the next grade, the work becomes a little bit harder, does it not? Yes. Okay, so this would obviously be an evolutionary program based on age, but you start very young in kindergarten. What do you do if you see a gun? You don't touch it. Go get an adult. Treat every gun like it's loaded. If it ends up in your friend's hands, get an adult immediately. Immediately. Do not try to disarm your friend. Leave the area. Get an adult. Simple tactics like that. Understand that this item is not inherently dangerous, but can be dangerous. If I leave my 9mm on the porch with a box of shells and a bottle of whiskey, guess what? That 9mm is not getting drunk and is not going out and burning up that box of shells. As long as a human being doesn't walk by and pick it up and drink that bottle, nothing stupid is going to happen. Not inherently dangerous. It is an inanimate object, but can be dangerous in the wrong user's hands. You start out very simple, and then we increase little by little, year after year, to the point where the kids are a certain age to where you could actually teach them to identify whether a gun is loaded or not, how to disarm the gun, who to give it to, who not to give it to, what kind of person might be a person you would want to give it to, what kind of person would be a person not to give it to. Very, very simple. Hypothetical. Jimmy's parents are at work. Little Jimmy's home by himself. Jimmy's dad left his gun on the kitchen counter. Jimmy's 14, has to watch his little sister Abby. Well, Abby is stumbling around the house. You know, she can walk. She's 4. She stumbles around the house, grabs things she wants off the counter, and is always looking for a cookie. Well, Jimmy spots this gun on the counter. Little Jimmy should possess the knowledge that there's a child walking around the house that doesn't know what that is, and should possess enough knowledge to pick that up, safely unload it, and separate the firearm from the ammunition and put it out of reach of his little sister. It's our responsibility as a society to be teaching these things. Now, bad on Jimmy's dad because he shouldn't have left it on the fucking counter. Bad on Jimmy's dad. What are you going to do? But there's 1,000 other hypothetical situations like that could take place. Now, as these kids get a little bit older and they become more advanced, okay, maybe now you institute more harder hitting videos in a classroom setting, more victims that can speak up about things that they've been through from gun violence or people that have lost loved ones. Let these kids sit in a classroom and actually see the effects from a victim standpoint. I guarantee you when they grow up, they'd be less likely to fucking shoot somebody if they fully understand repercussions of what a family member went through that lost a loved one. We have been taught in this country to dehumanize strangers, and I think that's a lot of where this comes from. And you see a man walking down the road, you don't think his dog's waiting for him at home. He's got a wife, he's got kids, maybe his mom's still alive, or maybe his dad's still alive and he's the only one that takes care of his dad. Maybe his siblings bailed, and maybe dad has, stage whatever cancer and isn't doing well. And this dude's just, walking to the pharmacy, and here comes some sick son of a bitch says, I'm going to shoot that weird looking guy over there, not thinking about the repercussions that are coming out of that. And as they're aging, they need to they need to be understanding and being taught the judicial system, penalty for actions. We don't do that in this country. We're not having these kids sit down in school and teaching them what crimes come with what penalties and why you don't do them and what the judicial system's all about. We don't. We don't teach anything for real world. We send these kids out in the real world. They start doing dumb shit. They get themselves in trouble. They have no idea what the judicial system is, and they love it because they make money off of it. They make money off these kids. They grow up, they become adults, they commit a crime, and then they're making money. They don't care. You think the DA cares? No, the DA wants to stay employed. He wants crime to happen. You think these criminal defense attorneys that go to oh God, so much schooling to become an attorney, you think they don't want crime to happen when that's our primary source of income is criminal defense? No, they want it to happen. I mean, wake up, man. A mass shooter, he could have 1,000 victims. You know what he gets? A right to a fair trial. You know what else he gets? An attorney, maybe paid for with tax dollars from the fucking victims. Think about that shit. Let that sink in. Tax-paying victims' money will go to a criminal defense attorney, if they can't afford their own, to represent their murderer. Think about that. Think about it. Now, the idea of taxpayer-funded classes within high schools to teach kids about the judicial system, penalty for actions, and actual informative, correct firearm information, that should be paid for by taxpayer funding, and every taxpayer should have a smile on their fucking face. I don't think that'd be a problem at all. Gain some knowledge, reduce violence, better citizens walking the street because maybe they actually understand the law and consequence now. Doesn't that just sound like so much of a better world? Talk all the time about getting guns off the street so they don't fall in the wrong hands. Whose hands are the wrong hands? We're creating the wrong hands in our society. We don't have people coming over from like overseas or third world countries buying up guns and creating mass shootings. No, these are our own citizens that are born, bred, and grew up here, okay? Went through our public school systems. That's who these shooters are. So at the end of the day, something is wrong somewhere with how we're bringing up our nation's youth. Figure out where it is and fucking fix it, and shit like this will stop happening or be greatly fucking reduced. But that's all. That's all the time we got for today's show. Have a fantastic Monday, everybody, and we will be back here tomorrow for another exciting episode of the Doom Daily Show. Have a great day, everybody.
News, facts, and opinions. This is the Doom Daily Show.